Video image transmission. Now, this is probably one of the most underlooked things that people don't really understand why it's relevant and why it's important. For those of you who shoot on a lot of production shoots that require multiple cameras, have directors, DPs, you need equipment that can help out these people do their jobs. And this is where Hollyland's 400 and 400S video transmission system comes into play. This thing is very unique and it does a lot. First off, this is going to transform the way you work. Why? Well, now you're not going to be limited by cables and you can actually move around your director monitor, DP monitor without having to worry about an HDMI or SDI cable that's long enough to make that stretch. In the box, you'll have the video transmission system, including the receiver and the transmitter. On top of that, you'll get an AC plug. That way you can continuously run the transmitter or the receiver out of power. Along with that, you are going to get 5 long-range antennas. You'll only need 4 for these systems, but they threw in 1 extra. And you'll get a little L bracket which will allow you to mount the system directly onto your camera. So here's basically how it works. You take your transmitter, you hook it up via HDMI to your camera, and then it transmits the signal to the receiver, which is this system. There are 2 different versions of the 400 available. There's the 400 and the 400S. The 400S has a slightly more professional appeal simply because it has an SDI input and SDI output. SDI is a great connection because it's not limited to an HDMI cable's length. Basically, this is an SDI cable and it can go for as long as you want. You can get these custom cut and made for you. You can get 30, 40 feet versions of this cable, and that's something that HDMI does not offer you. Also, SDI cables tend to be higher quality and they have less latency than HDMI cables, but of course this depends on the type of cable that you buy. Now, besides the SDI inputs, there's really not a difference between the 400 and the 400S, so keep that in mind. On a few of my fitness shoots, I've used HD transmission systems simply because if I'm using a 10-foot tall jib, I need that amount of flexibility for me to mount a camera monitor on the opposite side of the room or on the other end of the camera jib. I really don't have an HDMI cable that can reach that long. And also, because it gives me 400 feet of range, then I'm able to put the camera monitor anywhere that I want without having to lose signal or worry about the length of a cable. Before we get into the testing of the actual unit, let me tell you about the build quality. These have excellent build quality. It's an aluminum alloy shell and nothing about these units feel cheap. It feels sturdy, it feels solid, and it feels like it can take quite of a beating. Now, compared to the Mars 300, which is the last generation of this type of video transmission system from Hollyland, these things have a built-in fan. Now, a lot of people have been saying that the fan might be too loud for them, but let's have a listen and you let me know what you think, and let me know in the comments below if you think this fan is too loud. Anyway, let me know. I think it's acceptable, and overall, I couldn't be happier with the amount of noise that these things produce. Let's get down to business and let me show you how to set this thing up. Our antennas simply screw on onto the top, and then on the back we can use our Sony MPF style batteries. There's 3 different sizes of this battery. Obviously the larger ones are going to get you better battery life, and battery life can range from 2 hours to 6 hours. It all depends on the type of battery that you're using. On the side of the unit we'll have a USB-C port which allows you to upgrade firmware. We have the HDMI out, the HDMI in port, and we have the SDI in and SDI out. On the other side we have the power switch and power connection port. On the bottom of the unit, we have a 1/4 20-inch port allowing you to mount it onto any camera or any camera cage or basically any accessory that has this kind of thread. And also, one big thing that they've added to the 400 series is an LCD. We have different channels to choose from just in case we get noisy signal from a certain channel. And also new to these transmitters, we have the option of seeing a battery alarm, so if your battery starts to run low, this thing will let you know. On top of that, the Mars 400 series has a unique option allowing you to view your footage via your mobile device. All you have to do is download the HoloLens HoloView app and then open it up and connect to it via Wi-Fi. And that way you'll be able to use your iPad or iPhone or any other smart mobile device as your monitor. But if you want less latency, I do recommend that you use either an HDMI cable or an SDI cable. So once everything is turned on, you can go ahead and start connecting your cables to your camera and to your monitor. You'll notice that the startup time does take about, 10 to 15 seconds, so you might have to be patient there. That is one of the downsides to the system, is that you do have to wait about 15 seconds for these things to power up. So if you're in a rush, definitely take that into consideration. Now, another big question you guys are going to be asking is, does it have lag? The answer is yes. It has very similar lag to the Mars 300, and I reviewed that system right here. It's now a lot cheaper than it was because of these new systems that are out. So if you don't need any of the fancy features that the Mars 400 series has, definitely check out the Mars 300. But I can tell you right now that the lag is very, very similar, and you can see it right here. Now, HoloLens rated the system as being 400 feet of range in an open area, and honestly, I've tested out 4 of their transmission systems already, and they've been really true to that. But instead of me testing out that range for you guys right here, I want to test out how this system does between walls. Now, I live in a home that's 3 stories, and I have a garage on the bottom, so technically I live in a 4-story house. So what we're going to do, I'm going to give you a little tour of my house, and I'm going to leave one of my cameras back here so you can see how the reception is throughout 4 stories of this house. All right, let's go for that tour.
All right, guys, here we go. Here comes the tour. So I got my Sony A9 right here recording the performance of the HoloLens Mars 400S. Let me get a little zoom in on here. So this is how the rig is looking like. So I'm going to do a walkthrough of the house for you guys, and we're going to be able to see what the range is like when we're working between walls and between floors. So let's go for a little walk. All right, so this is the top floor. I'm not going to show you my messy room because I'm packing for a trip, but here is the dining room / kitchen area. So we're walking down some stairs right now. A little bit sick still, but I'm getting better. Okay, so here we go. Here's the kitchen. I just got my house rigged up with Alexa, so I got some Alexa stuff here. She's probably gonna respond. All right, so here's the kitchen. All right, so right now we're on, what is it? Technically the 3rd floor. Just came down from there. So this is the guest bedroom. And guys, please go easy on me when it comes with interior decoration, because I know nothing about it. I moved into this place in about August. So if you have any recommendations on how I can spruce up my home, please let me know. I definitely need to get some art. So send me some links to some cool art, and we can definitely implement that here. And if you guys are artists, let me know. Okay, so that's the guest bathroom, guest bedroom. Let's go down to the 2nd or 1st floor, depending on how you want to look at it. This is the TV room. Alright, I just got a new surround sound system that I'm actually really happy about. It's a Sonos surround, so I'm a movie fanatic, so I need to have good sound. Okay, so hopefully we're still getting good signal on the Mars 400. And now we're making our way down to the garage. And I'm actually remodeling the garage, so it's a really big mess. But I'll show you what's going on down here. All right. So I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram at momentum_productions, but basically what's happening here is that I'm converting this garage. I'm taking out well, I'm not taking it out, but I'm gonna cover up this ugly concrete floor with some racing tiles. So I just painted these red, and I have a whole bunch of other tiles back there that are gonna be gray and black. So I'm excited to put that in. And I just put in these cabinets. So these are really dope. Still a huge mess in my garage, but here's some GoPeds. And a little background about me, guys. When I was, 14, 15, my first business was selling and building these GoPeds gas scooters here. This is before like the whole electric vehicle craze. So I opened my first business when I was, 14, and I was selling these things online. Obviously, I don't have that business anymore, but that was the first thing I started. I actually, the company was called Mount Motor, and I still have my old videos on YouTube if you want to check that out. Yeah, Mount Motor. So anyway, hopefully the Mars 400S is still picking up good signal. And yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below.
So the Mars 400 is definitely a great investment for those of you who shoot in bigger productions that require multiple people, especially DPs and directors, or if you just want it as a convenience factor. A lot of these videos that I shoot with my camera pointed at me, I use a video HD transmission system because it makes my life so much easier. So if you're interested in the Mars 400 or the 400S, definitely check out the links down below. And let me know what you guys thought about the system in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace!